Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of owning at the Boardwalk on this episode of the DVC Show. The DVC Show is brought to you by DVCstore.com. You'll save thousands of dollars on your next DVC contract when you let the experts at the DVC Store help welcome you home. Visit them at www.dvcstore.com or call 1-800-550-6493. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. Excuse me, I'm your host, Pete Werner, drinking soda. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
From the DVC Store, Jamie Carr.
Hey, everybody.
Via Skype, Mr. Pete Scheidley.
And his cat.
And back on the controls, associate producer Corey Fiescanar.
Welcome home.
Well, welcome to the show, folks. Hope your week is off to a good start. Just a couple things before we get started. If you are interested in renting out your DVC points, give a call over to DVC Store, 1-800-550-6493. They are now paying $15.50 a point, which is a great price point. Great way to offset the cost of your dues. Of course, if you're interested in renting DVC points to kind of try before you buy, you can also head over to their website, dvcstore.com, or give them a call. And Jamie, in particular, will help everyone that calls.
Every one of you.
We're going to start giving out her cell phone number. And
I no longer sleep.
Right, that's what we're going for. We want to make them cry. That's our goal. Make them cry because they have so many phone calls coming in. All right, so we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Boardwalk. And I don't know, maybe I still have the glow of new membership. I have trouble with the cons of a lot of these places. I really do.
I do too.
I really do. So let's start off here, because I love the Boardwalk. I own there as well.
I do too.
And you own at Boardwalk. Does anybody have any cons?
Long hallways.
There is the hallways are long.
I forgot about the long hallways. Yeah.
They can be.
Yeah.
They might not be.
If they put you, behind the ESPN club, it's
Right.
a little bit of a trek.
Well, that's is that? But that's a hotel side.
It is. Oh, yeah.
That's the
right.
hotel side. The
So
DVC
DVC
side.
is going the other way.
Jelly
but it's the
rolls.
same idea. Yeah, jelly
If you're
rolls.
above Jelly Rolls,
Yeah.
it's about 17 miles to the lobby.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh, my gosh, that's a long walk.
There have been,
And if you're on the opposite end, you're like right outside of Hollywood Studios. So yeah, it's.
but there have been I haven't experienced this. I know Fiasco stayed. You stayed recently, right?
I stayed as my first DVC stay about a year ago at Boardwalk, and I love the Boardwalk. I will say during my one stay, so it might not be systematic, but I did have housekeeping issues.
Well, that's what I was going to mention is that, and this seems to be pervasive now at a lot of DVC resorts. We've mentioned this previously, that housekeeping seems to be an issue. And I'm not, look, we know that you don't get daily housekeeping at DVC. It's every third day. You get trash and towel, in between. But
You get a full clean if you stay 7 full nights. So on the 8th day, if you're staying on the 8th day, they clean it as if you've checked out.
Okay.
So if you have a longer than 7
they
day
do the
stay.
full clean on the 4th day.
On the 4th?
If you're there for 7 nights, they do the full clean on the 4th day because
Okay.
we just had it happen.
Well, but the problem is that we were just at Old Key West. My mom, Sean, and I, before we did a cruise, and there was an inch of dust on top of the refrigerator. Now, this is not a refrigerator you have to reach up. I mean, it was at eye level, okay? And there was an inch of dust there. We're hearing this. We're hearing these issues at the Poly. We're hearing them at Saratoga. We're hearing them at Boardwalk. So it's not limited to the Boardwalk, but we are hearing a lot of issues about housekeeping.
I've stayed there 3 times in the last 2 years, and I have to say we did not have an issue with housekeeping. So I can't say it's certainly not universal.
Well, I'm staying in a 1-bedroom in a couple weeks, so we'll see.
I'll say what mine was because my room was clean, but inside the drawers, like the clothing drawers, I went to go put my stuff in there, and there was the last person's stuff or whatever was still in there. There were some baby clothes, and I don't have a baby, so I had no use for those.
I'll forgive them on that. I can forgive them on that.
Yeah.
That they're not going to necessarily open every drawer.
I left my purse in the top drawer once because I was switching purses depending on which park we were going to. And I just left my whole purse in the top drawer. And when we flew back home to Seattle, there was a call waiting for us on our home phone, and they sent it right back to us. But it was, I mean, they eventually looked.
Yeah,
but
Disney's very good about that.
Yeah.
I will say I've had that happen in a number of hotels, both in California and here,
Yeah.
where I left something inadvertently and I got a phone call about it, and then at their expense,
Yeah.
they ship it.
It's very nice.
So they're really good about that.
Yeah.
But we have been hearing these housekeeping issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have very few cons as well. The one con I would like to say though is that it's a little bit annoying that if you want food not first thing in the morning, you basically have to go outside to get it because you have to go out to either the Boardwalk Bakery or one of the other locations. They do have in the morning the Bellevue Lounge, which is just on the cash side of the lobby. They do have some breakfast items and coffee and things like that in the morning, but the rest of the day. So the reason I criticize this is because if you're there in the afternoon and you get in the pouring Florida rains and you want to get something to eat, you have to go outside to do it. So it would be nice if there was a way to get food without having to actually
That was a
go out to
complaint. That was a complaint
world.
of mine at Alani, that to get my morning coffee, I literally had to walk to the other side of the resort, and the one morning it was like biblical, the rain, and I was not amused.
Yeah,
As
that's
I
no
mentioned, I'm not a pleasant person first thing in the morning.
I see a recurring theme in our conversations here about DVC resorts and having to truck to get coffee. I think it would go a long way if every DVC resort just had a small Joffrey stand that was even open just for the first half of the day.
Well, at Alani, they used to do coffee service down in the Olelo room, which is the lounge down in the ground floor of the main building. And they stopped doing it. I yelled at them about that the last time I was there. But so this is a common theme, and this is why I say that was before I was that was before I was a DVC member. But this is why I say, if you're staying DVC, bring your coffee, bring the stuff you like in your coffee, because it makes it easy. You can just do it right in your room. Go ahead, Pete.
And I do want to clarify. I mean, what I was saying there, they have an area just on the other side of the lobby from the DVC side called I believe it's called the Bellevue Lounge. They have a little area there that they sell breakfast sandwiches, fruit. They have coffee and tea available. I think it might even be for free there. So for first thing in the morning.
I don't think it is.
No, okay, but they have urns there and everything. So you have that opportunity for breakfast. They do have something internal to the building that's not a long walk from the DVC. My point was more for in the evening or for lunch or something like that. If you don't want to have to leave the interior of the building for some reason because the weather's bad, you don't really have an option.
All right, let's talk about the pros.
Yes. I got
everything else.
Glaring one right off the bat.
A glaring pro?
Oh, yeah. Because so for me, how I and my wife Haley would vacation, we were big Epcot festival goers. We'd come during an Epcot festival, and often we'd be here for 7 days, and literally 5 of those days would be at the festivals. Beach Club and Boardwalk, that's the place to be, right? You can't get better than that for because people will come here for food and wine, flower and garden, festival of the arts. That's a drawing point, a focal point to why they're planning their vacation. There's no better place to be than the Boardwalk or Beach Club. And
that's a huge one. I mean, the proximity to Epcot, without question.
And Hollywood.
And the fact that it's walking distance to Hollywood Studios is really it is the only,
Yeah.
with the exception of the Swan, really.
Yeah.
Those are the only two resorts that genuinely are
parks.
walking distance. I mean, you can walk from Beach Club and Yacht Club, but it's a bit further.
Yeah, you have to walk around the
than it
lake.
is from Boardwalk. So,
And that's the reason that we bought there was because of the particularly the Food and Wine Festival, and because in addition, if you don't own at one of those two resorts for that time of year, October, November, you can't get in. It is completely sold out.
It's tough
in every category at 7 months.
Even September.
See,
October, November,
even
but also
even
September.
part of September. Yeah.
I bought there in Beach Club in particular because I wanted to be able to grab rooms on New Year's Eve. We like do Epcot on New Year's Eve, and I will not drive. And I was able to get New Year's Eve without a problem.
Nice.
Using that window. So definitely worked out for me, especially this year. I also really love the decor of the rooms since they were redone.
Yes.
I grew up on the Jersey Shore. That's home for me. A little town called Ocean Grove, which is right next to Asbury Park. And the first time I walked into one of those rooms, I just felt that. I felt that beach feel, just done really elegantly, I thought, without being over the top.
I love that too. See, I spent a lot of my teenage years going to Coney Island in Brooklyn, and so I know everybody always makes fun of the big clown pool, but
I was going to say we forgot that for the con.
Yeah, that's a con, yeah.
We forgot the pool.
I mean, for a lot of people it is, but it reminds me of the Cyclone in Coney Island, and I just
Yeah,
there's
okay, so
something
let's
nostalgic
put.
about
I
that.
think we can put that on the con list, though. The Pennywise the Clown Pool, as I call it.
Nightmares about that.
It vomits children. And it
But I
just
do
freaks a lot of people out, especially at night when it's all lit up.
It does, yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's coming to haunt your dreams. I mean, what were you saying, Pete?
But I do think that it's actually one of the better pools in that it's not huge or anything, but for some reason it never feels that crowded.
No, you're right.
When I've been there,
Because people are scared of the clown.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why the kids won't go in it. But we were just talking in a different show about the Bay Lake Tower pool, and I think this is the opposite. Whereas even at the worst time of day, you can always find some space in that pool where it's not overrun with kids. And then the quiet pool, which is just over a section of the hotel, is also a fairly good sized pool. And my wife and I have been in there too. And usually the kids won't go there because they want to be at the pool with the slide. So that's a nice option as well.
Another pro for me is the dining
Yeah.
available there. One of my favorite restaurants on property, Flying Fish, right there at the boardwalk. But also, I may be one of the only people alive that really do enjoy Big River Grill.
I like
No,
it.
we were just talking about it, that I ate there last week, and it's very consistent. It's very affordable. I love that place.
And but a lot of people hate on it. And the review that we did, about a year and a half ago, maybe, or 2 years ago,
Where you had the really good waitress.
where that server was so
Yes.
good, I still remember that.
Yeah.
She was absolutely out of this world.
Aw.
And the food was really good, too. That wasn't just that the service was good. If you're a beer drinker, that's a great place to go because it's literally a microbrewery, and they have their own beer. I never drank, even when I was drinking, I never drank beer. If beer was the only alcohol around, I would never have been an alcoholic because I can't stand beer. But
And to give it even more credit, not just talking on the boardwalk restaurants, because Big River and Flying Fish, those are the boardwalk restaurants, but you have access to so much more. You can walk to Beach Club, you can walk to Yacht
Yachtsman.
Club, you can walk to the Swan and Dolphin, obviously Epcot and Hollywood. You have walking distance to so many restaurants, and that kind of leads me into another pro, which is there's just so much to do aside from going into a theme park at Boardwalk. In comparison to all the other DVC resorts, it's up there at the top with Animal Kingdom Lodge. for a resort-only stay, even though you're so close to those parks and that is the main draw, you still have so much dining. You have like 3 different spas in walking distance to you. You have a bunch of shops. You have all the shops at all the different resorts. It's
You have
just
jelly rolls.
a lot
And
of
jelly
stuff.
rolls. Let's talk
Jelly
about,
rolls is-
there
Love
is not
jelly
a
rolls.
That's the
there's-
other reason I bought.
there's not a resort at Walt Disney World with better entertainment
No.
than that, than jelly rolls. I mean, dueling pianos.
It's
a
fun.
lot of fun. Plus, I
It-
like the boardwalk games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's cool. And again, I grew up on the Jersey Shore, and this is themed around turn of the century Jersey Shore, so some of it is a little disconnected for me. But the elements there that kind of really speak to me are those shore elements. Those
I also think it has one of the best on-property stores as far as like to get your conveniences. Like,
the screen door.
screen door.
Screen door.
Like
Yeah.
it's just the way that it's set up. It doesn't feel crowded. Like if you go upstairs at Polynesian and you're trying, that store is very split. Gets very crowded very quickly. I've never felt crowded in there. Everything's kind of spread out. I think they have great merchandise. It's larger than any of the other
Yeah,
ones.
it is large.
Yeah,
It is large.
I love the merch there.
yeah.
They always have good merch.
they do.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about staying there in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And it's-
I haven't stayed there in a
I-
while. I mean, a DVC side.
nice.
Yeah. Another pro is if you have kids, the entertainment on the boardwalk that they have magicians and jugglers and things like that, and they're always rotating in and out. So I mean, you can just hang out there for an hour or so and just watch the acts, and the kids get pulled in, and it's something that's free. There's no charge for that, which is, you don't need a theme park ticket to see it.
Yeah.
It's fun. And those red benches are just so cute with the little detail on the sides of them. The little wrought iron little red benches that are.
Oh wait, I have another con.
Oh.
Not the red benches, but
Uh-oh.
the children who were turned into chairs in the
Oh my
lobby.
gosh,
yeah.
I forgot about those.
That also, along with Pennywise the clown, comes to
Yes.
life at night and will attack you and kill you in your
Yeah,
sleep.
those
I forgot about those.
To
too.
follow that
terror
up,
chairs in the
though.
lobby.
Yeah.
To follow up Jackie's with the benches, I also think the green space they have, like you got
That
you got
lawn.
you got the lawn where at a lot of them you don't have that kind of space. You just have building and concrete and building. You get a little bit of everything. You get some green space, where there's things you can just relax and read a book. You've got the benches, you've got the boardwalks. You get a little bit of everything.
It's just pretty.
The solarium is really nice too. And then they have a little area when you walk into the DVC area too. That's like a chilled out place to kind of, if you wanted to go there, work on your laptop or whatever. If you're on like a work trip or something,
Quiet
Really
space.
Nice quiet space. Yeah, they have that too.
And another thing is they have different point levels. They have a standard view room, and then they have the pool and garden and the boardwalk view room. And
Yeah, there are a number of.
two credits there. One, the higher view room, the boardwalk view room, is not extra points versus the pool garden view room. When they originally opened the resort, there actually was no separate category for the boardwalk view. And after a few years, everybody was requesting the boardwalk view, so they actually opened that up as a separate category, but they didn't change the price point. So the boardwalk view is the same price as the.
Is it really? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
Yes,
boardwalk
the same
and garden
point
view are
price.
the same, and then the standard is really on par with Old Key West or just a little.
Yeah,
I mean,
the-
you're not going to get
the
a better value point wise.
Yeah, and the standard is very low, and it's actually, it views like the front of the resort, but again, it's mostly looking out at a green space, so it's not like you're looking at, a dumpster or a parking lot necessarily. You do have a pretty decent little view. So, we've stayed in the standard rooms and we've stayed in the boardwalk rooms, and, you get a nice range of options there.
Okay.
Another comment on the boardwalk room that I've heard, I've only stayed in the standard and the garden pool, is the noise at night. So it's not a con for me personally, but I've had people say that the noise at night, if you have small children, you can hear everything that's
On
going
the
on
boardwalk
until they
views.
close. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were right over Big River Grill at the outdoor seating area. And it really wasn't that bad. I mean, when the fireworks went off in Epcot, of course you heard that, but I think you would have heard that anywhere. But I didn't notice it as really a big problem. I suppose if you have kids that go to bed real early, maybe it would be.
Or you're just whiny like Jamie.
I said it wasn't my con. I don't have kids. You can keep me up as late as you want, but I've had clients tell me that sometimes with smaller children that's not necessarily the best view to choose, but I would say try it for yourself and see.
Yeah. Oh, and all the Grand Villas are boardwalk view.
Yeah, and the Grand Villas are all one floor.
Yeah.
They're not split level, so if you have older family members who don't navigate stairs, that's always a consideration for me if my mom is with me, because she gets around okay, but stairs are out. She might get up, she ain't coming back down. So, they're all on one floor and they're very spacious.
That's nice.
Kind of like the old school. I haven't seen them now that they've been rehabbed.
Animal Kingdom Jambo is the same. Animal Kingdom Jambo with the pool table is one flat level.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I know that in Kidani they're split level, aren't they?
They are,
Yeah,
but there's only
Kidani,
one
they're
at
split.
Jambo.
Jambo, they're one floor.
They're one floor, and it's amazing. The nicest Grand Villa I've ever stayed in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, all right. So plenty of pros for. I think we should also throw on one con is that it does expire in 2042.
That's very true.
That is a con for a lot of people, so
Yeah.
keep that in mind. But there you have it. Those are our pros and cons of the boardwalk, and that will do it for this week's episode of the DVC Show. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great week, folks.